A in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a mother mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you and look in the wrong room.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
You know what's truly unsettling? The music industry doesn't break people loudly. It doesn't walk up to a young rapper and say, "We're going to change everything about you." It does it silently, so quietly, so carefully, that by the time the artist looks in the mirror, they don't recognize the person staring back. And the scariest part? They have no idea when it even started. Katt Williams carried this knowledge for decades. When he finally unleashed it on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe in January 2024, it wasn't a rant. It wasn't just an interview. It was a man, 30-something years deep in this industry, who had watched the machine work its magic on real people, real careers, real souls. And he finally decided he had nothing left to lose by telling the truth. So today, we're going into territory that rarely gets discussed honestly. What actually happens to young rappers the moment they step inside the machine? What are the unwritten conditions nobody warns them about? Why do so many artists come out the other side looking, sounding, and moving like a completely different person? Katt saw it, lived beside it, and he tried to warn us, if only we were willing to listen.
The story starts when I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping. Right, he's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side, and then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs, and I was like, hey yo, I was messing with him because people don't understand. You know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang, so I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. When he got I just waited at the counter. When he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like he gave the guy a stack something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's Sarah, the girl, Puff, and this dude, this rapper. So I'm hearing at the door and stuff like that, like, yeah. So then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room, they busy, they don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bro, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. He was like, yo, I don't care, man. I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bro, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed him and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well, and Puff was like, yo, G, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on.
Let's go back to where it all begins, because this is a part most people skip over, and they absolutely shouldn't. Picture a kid, 17 or 18 years old. He's been rapping in his bedroom, on street corners, at local shows. He's got something real, and the people around him know it. Then one day, someone walks up with a business card and a nice watch and says, the label is interested. That's it. That's all it takes. Because for this kid, this isn't just an opportunity. This is the only door out of wherever he's coming from. So he signs. And honestly, who wouldn't? Now, let's be clear. Not every record deal is a trap. Some artists go in, do their thing, and come out completely fine. But what Katt Williams was pointing to when he started talking about industry plants, that's something far more specific. He was describing a system that sometimes finds a young person before they even know who they fully are. It builds an entire structure around them. It quietly steers them toward whatever is most useful for the label. And by the time that artist lands on your playlist, the shaping is already done. You're meeting the finished product. The real person they used to be, left somewhere in a conference room. Katt Williams said he turned down $50 million on 4 separate occasions. Let that number sit with you for a moment, because the size of the offer tells you everything about the size of the ask on the other side. And here's what I really want you to think about. What does it actually cost a young rapper to say no? Not to something small, but no to the right person in the right room at the right moment. We're not talking about skipping a verse on a song you don't like. We're talking about turning down a situation presented by someone who holds enormous power over your entire career. The label controls your masters. They decide whether your single gets pushed or shelved. These aren't abstract things. We're talking about your rent, your family's rent, your future.
And Miami, all that is the same, bro. Nobody wants to be near him. Nobody wants to touch what he touched, be where he at. You understand? It's crazy, bro, how his fall from grace, which was never from grace. It's just like the devil just kicked him out of hell, because he was never in nothing graceful and did anything graceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say about, okay, he did the music, he had the bad boy legacy and everything like that, man. But, a few albums, a few people, made to be famous, but they not here to tell their story. Black Rob, Biggie, Craig Mack. They not here to tell their story, bro. And now you got everybody telling his story.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with US Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bro, those people who was caught at Diddy's party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. Now, that's a big house. But he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. No, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them. He's not going to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I know that got to be a terrible feeling, man. You know you did something wrong at Diddy party, and you hoping and praying that it's not caught on tape.
But they don't think they did nothing wrong. That's their lifestyle. That's their lifestyle, bro. I ask guys all the time, if two men lay down, how many homos get up? What you mean? I mean what I mean. It's what it is.
When Katt Williams talked about declining Diddy's invitations, he wasn't telling some fun Hollywood story. He said it plainly, without hesitation. Diddy be wanting to party. You have to tell him no. I did. That line hits completely differently now. Because we know what those parties really meant for the people who kept showing up. The ones who said yes, who stayed loyal, who made themselves available. They got taken care of in the short run. What the long run looked like. We're all watching that unfold right now.
That surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
Off my back, Lord, you win. I'm gonna win. Lord, you win. Be with it. I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person as well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it shows you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah. I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, you know, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
The 4-part series also features 2 jurors from Combs' trial who are speaking for the first time about how they reached their mixed verdict, finding Combs guilty of 2 prostitution offenses, but clear of racketeering and trafficking charges. both sharing their thoughts on the relationship between Combs and singer Cassie. Juror 75 describing them as two people in love, and Juror 160 saying in part, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges.
Cassie, is she a victim in all this?
I believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in as she's like 18, like 19 years old in the very beginning. After a while, the overtime conditioned for it.
The goal of what the film is trying to do is to let the audience kind of come in to ask questions like, were their decisions colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, in that courtroom?
Do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
No. Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he might feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth.
For a young rapper who's barely 20 years old, maybe just out of a tough situation, that social pressure inside a room full of powerful people is almost impossible to describe from the outside. It's not always explicit. Sometimes it's just the energy in the room, the way everyone else is behaving, the unspoken message that hesitation makes you difficult, that saying no makes you ungrateful, that the game works a certain way. And if you want to keep playing, you already know what's expected. Now let's look at some real stories. Orlando Brown, the kid from That's So Raven, has been very public about his experiences growing up inside the entertainment world. His story is complicated, and some of what he said is difficult to verify. But strip away the noise, and there's something undeniably real at the center of it. He entered the spotlight as a child, before he had any sense of who he was, before he had any idea what he was stepping into. And what came out the other side was someone who clearly never had the tools to process what that environment did to him.
Yeah, but you're being very disrespectful when it comes down to my friend.
Okay.
So back up off. Let's back up off Puff.
So Dark Cloud is the wrong thing to say. Dark Cloud.
Let's just back up off Puff.
All right. So let's get off of him. Let's go with all the other industry producers and head honchos.
May I please have something to drink? Because you've said his name over 3 times,
yes,
and
please.
I have nothing now to drink.
We're damn near.
Yeah, somebody has to do something.
Yes,
you're being very disrespectful when it comes down to Bad Boy, Revolt, the entire fucking empire. No, I don't want a water.
Mace might disagree with you. Mace might disagree with you. He might say, hey, when you say names like Puff,
don't get mad at me. That Mace?
That Mace.
Yeah, thank you. I'd rather do a Sprite.
Thank you. Take care.
Why would you even ask me that?
Because we have to.
Thank you.
They would like to know, they as in they would like to know, like, as a child star, those people that are like Puffy or like Weinstein or like Jeff Epstein.
Diddy Combs. That's his name.
Yes.
His name is Sean Diddy Combs.
Okay, yeah, you kind of hang on Combs for a little bit, right?
That's his name. That's my friend's name. For everybody that's kind of scared to say his name.
No one's taking up for him anymore because the charges are so bad.
What charges are we talking about?
Well, he has a new 120 charges of 60 women and 60 male charges are brought against him. Even a 9-year-old boy said that Sean Diddy.
We're doing 9-year-olds now.
I mean that's
believe that. Even in Louisiana, we believe that.
What's Texas?
Oh, we believe, no, I'm saying we believe that in Louisiana, nine little year old babies, and that's what we doing. That's what you believe we doing.
We don't believe nothing until it's something.
I'm saying like 9-year-old kids is what we doing.
I don't believe it.
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. I don't believe it. But what makes a 9-year-old come forward and say, hey, when I was 9?
But bro.
Now take that same dynamic and apply it to young rappers. These are artists who come in with a very specific identity, a specific way of talking, moving, and making music. Then the second or third project drops and something feels off. The music sounds like it was made for someone else. The image has shifted in a direction that feels calculated rather than natural. The interviews are more guarded. The lyrics are safer, or stranger, or somehow both. Katt Williams has spoken about how the industry replaces people over time. Not physically, but the version of you that gets promoted, managed, and packaged starts to look less and less like the person who originally walked through that door. And that's not an accident. That is a machine doing exactly what it was built to do. Now I want to be careful here, because this next part deserves real honesty, not just heat. There's always been a quiet but persistent conversation running through hip-hop circles about what the industry sometimes asks of male artists in exchange for access and advancement. I'm not talking about conspiracy theories. I'm talking about something that people who have been in those rooms, or close to those rooms, have been saying out loud for years. Katt Williams said it. Orlando Brown has said it. Others have alluded to it in ways that become very hard to ignore once you start paying attention.
Diddy gave you oosh-squash?
Man, it was a night of great slip and slidedom. It was a night of great slip and slidedom. Okay?
A lot of baby oil?
No. A lot of spit. A lot of spit where I come from, brother. Okay? A lot of spit. Teach you niggas some time ago. Okay? Yeah, it was a lot. He was slipping on my tongue. Like this, slipping and sliding.
Did he ever reach out to you about that? After that went
Nah,
viral?
he be laughing about a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing about it is like, you know, like it's not it's not funny to anybody but us. Everybody is like, they're laughing, but it's really like, it's funny to us though. Like that's cute. It was a problem. Hell, the problem got dealt with, just like everybody else. I'd have got dealt with if it was a big problem, but it's funny though, you know, because how else am I supposed to express somebody in their downtime being beautiful? And I have an eye, like I told you, I asked God for sight. You know what I'm saying? So if I know that, let's say if I know that Beyonce let's say Janet Jackson is Diddy. Let's just say Janet Jackson is the real Diddy, right? Which she is. And so the things that Janet has on people because of her sexuality, and I'm able to identify her in her downtime as Janet Jackson, but I also know that she's Diddy. It's kind of crazy for people to not understand that themselves. You think at that level, she has one level of life? You're naive. You're very naive, and you don't understand how much we've evolved as a people. When you go look for somebody to marry, you don't find them by looking for what they have. Seek ye first the heart of the person, and everything else shall follow. Seek ye first the heart of the person, and everything else shall follow. They looking for money. They looking for that sex. They looking for that $1 million jet, the $1 million cars and shit. They're not looking for no Janet Jackson. Brother, if they was looking for Janet Jackson, she would be happy. She wouldn't have the whole world on her head right now, which is why she's in trouble. Now, he's trying to kill Orlando.
Why'd you say Janet Jackson's the real Diddy?
Because that's what I said, and I meant it, and it's the truth. You're not Diddy. You just try to kill me. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, you like you was like we're the party people night and day, living crazy. That's the only way out tonight. That's you. Gotta leave it up and down, and just enjoy yourself. Gonna move, yeah. That's you, cuz. I mean, yeah. It's not so bad at all. If you live it up,
that's me.
Live it off the wall. Yeah, nigga.
The core question here isn't really about who somebody is or who they love. The real question is about choice versus arrangement. There's a massive difference between someone arriving at a certain identity on their own terms and someone being nudged, pressured, or strategically incentivized into a particular image or lifestyle as part of a larger deal. And what makes this especially heavy when we talk about young rappers is the age factor. Many of these artists are teenagers when their first real industry relationships form. Their sense of self is still being built. They are impressionable, not because of weakness, but because of something far simpler. They are young and they are human. The people around them know that. And the industry has historically not been above using it. The whispering about this has been going on for a long time. Katt Williams just chose to stop whispering.
Coming to the party. Because he asked me, did I see them? I said, yeah, they came up in a limousine. They said they wasn't coming to the party. You know what I'm saying? He said, I said, but him and 50 was mean mugging each other. He was like, yeah, he started laughing. Chad started laughing. I said, yeah. He said, so what happened? I said, nothing. 50 was all right. He said, what you mean 50 all right? I said, he had one of my girlfriends with him. And then Chad said, he had what? He said, go get that from him. I said, man. Yo, he good, man. He be all right. He all right. He said, man, boy. So that was it. So me and 50, we just became cool. We just used to talk. And then after the big fight that he had with Ja Rule in Atlanta, Ja Rule and the people like that in Atlanta, they set up a meeting at Black Hands. So they set the meeting up at Black Hands, you know, for them to talk. But prior to that, they had caught 50 at the, I don't know if it was the Hit Factory or the Sound, the Hit Factory or the Sound Studio, one of them studios down on 40th Street like that, or 50-something Street, and they stabbed him up. Now, they stabbed 50 up. So now, Chaz had worked the deal out. Nobody knows this, bruh. Chaz had worked the deal out for Irv Gotti and them to give 50 $250,000. He had worked a deal for them to get $250,000. So now, don't nobody supposed to know this, but 50 and Chaz and Irv Gotti and them team. So now, whatever the situation is, Chaz told 50 when they was in Atlanta, he said, go talk to Ja, man, y'all talk that. But he never asked 50 how 50 felt about it. This is the conversation that me and 50 is having. Because we had this conversation in Dr. Dre's studio when I was bodyguarding Scott Storch. You understand? So now, when 50 went over to Ja, he just snuffed him, cracked. Because Ja had a little baseball bat in his hand, hitting it like this. You know, so when 50 got close enough, 50 snuffed him. So they all tried to jump. Chaz jumped in there, grabbed 50, but they wasn't going to try to hit 50 after Chaz grabbed him. They wasn't going to try to hit 50. And if they'd have hit Chaz, they knew all hell would have been broken out. All hell would have been loose in Queens.
That gap is exactly what Katt Williams was talking about when he brought up the idea of the industry plant. And his point was never really about any one artist specifically. It was about the structure that makes that kind of overnight arrival possible. Because that kind of thing does not happen by itself. The right playlist placements, the right collaborations dropping at precisely the right moment, the right press narrative built before the album is even out. That is not luck. That is infrastructure. And infrastructure costs money and requires relationships. The artists who receive that treatment are often not the most talented people in the room. They are the most convenient, the most agreeable, the ones whose image fits exactly what the label needs right now, and who are flexible enough to become whatever version of themselves the marketing team has designed. That is a brutal thing to say out loud. But Katt Williams has never been afraid of brutal. His entire argument about Kevin Hart, whatever you think of it, was really just a version of the same point. Success in this industry is not purely earned. It is often constructed. And the construction begins with an agreement that the public never gets to see.
Oh, my.
I must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that. And he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
You know, he would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal. For sure.
But you got to realize this, man. People who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that they don't go there looking for that stuff. You got to understand they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things ever before. There are a lot of celebrities that go to these parties like this. And they not only Diddy parties. I went to a party before and You Can't Handle the Truth and King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me was at one of those parties. I was bodyguarding one of the girls. So what I'm saying is that it's rampant, and this was years ago. This was over 20 years ago. It's rampant in the music industry. It's rampant in Hollywood, film, pictures, and anything.
Some people figured it out before it was too late. Or maybe they simply hit a wall they couldn't cross without losing themselves completely. Either way, they walked away. And those are the people worth paying the closest attention to. Dave Chappelle walking away from $50 million at the absolute height of Chappelle's show is one of those moments in entertainment history that people still talk about and still don't fully understand. He's spoken about a specific moment on set where something just clicked wrong, where he felt the energy in the room shift, where the joke was no longer on the character. It was on him, and in that moment, something became crystal clear. So he got on a plane to South Africa.
Because the first, I think it's the first season of Making the Band, it came out, and the Dave Chappelle show came out. Like, I like comedy, me, you dig? I can lay back and watch comedy all day and night. Corey Mahokam and all them people, I can watch them all night. I seen the Dave Chappelle show come out, and when we came back for season 2, I was just telling them, like, y'all gotta watch this Dave Chappelle show, and everybody looked at me weird. But the publicist, who was actually Keith Murray, either baby mama or wife or something, she was actually our publicist. And she was like, he is funny, isn't he? I was like, yeah, you should try to contact him. And next thing you know, she contacted him and came to the house, and that's how we ended up doing the Dave Chappelle skit. Thanks, Chop. Mother.
So that's what it was, then. That's the reason why Dallon wasn't showing up to the meetings and all.
Yes, that's exactly why. Dallon didn't show up because he felt like he can do better by himself. He already had the fame and the popularity, so why not? You dig? And to me, honestly, I should have done the same. My old young dumb duck ass. I guess that's why when they say 18 and over, you should probably be 18 and over, because my young dumb ass ain't know no better. I was groupies getting all this money and not even knowing the money that I'm thinking I'm getting is pennies on a dollar. Ain't that a bit? I love life. But you couldn't tell. That's why the industry loves signing young dumb. You heard me? Because you could get them pennies of the dollars and make $30 million off of them. You ever notice the industry don't sign 25, 26-year-old? You know, they don't that. Because if you know better, you're going to be hard to deal with. That's why they sign the youngsters, you dig? That's why, you know, to all you artists out here, you heard me? Come in with your own motion, your own bag, little daddy, towards you. Come in this big, nobody tell you. That's why I roll the way I roll right now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You heard me? I move how I want to move. You understand me? Because I'm in my own bag. You heard me? Come into a situation with your own money. Don't come into this for help. You did? Because they gonna help you out. They gonna help you out. He said facts. Yeah. They gonna help you out. And spit shit right back out like you was nobody. Yeah. That's why dollars.
That was the reason. Gotta ask you, because I never asked you about it. How you feel about the situation between Shine and Puffy?
I think that Diddy did him real foul. I think that I don't think Shine shot that lady. I don't think Shine shot that lady. I think Diddy used them police, the same police he said he was gonna use against me on Shine. Like he was gonna get me prosecuted, because that's exactly what he did to Shine. He paid people off to aim for Shine, and Shine took the rap for something that I don't feel like he done in his life. But Shine he used his trauma as triumph, and he made a rose blossom out of the concrete, and he's the minister, I think, now in Belize. And from what he come from and what has done, you know, that is an accomplishment, and that's what I think. I think Diddy over every last one of his artists. I don't know not one of us that has succeeded with him. Most of us has learned how to thrive without him, which means that it kind of feel like we shouldn't have never dealt with the devil in the first place.
Lauryn Hill is another one. At the absolute peak of her career, with the miseducation having just permanently changed the landscape of music, she stepped back, and when she eventually returned to speak about it, what she described was striking. The control, the compromise, the slow, quiet erosion of creative ownership. It was the exact same language Katt Williams would use years later. What both of these departures share is this: they were not failures, they were refusals. These were people who could see clearly enough to recognize what was being asked of them and decided, without hesitation, that it simply wasn't worth it.
Statement. A lot of people blame me for what has become of Lauryn Hill. And the fact that she's not out and about in the music industry. If you've read this far, you have to understand she and I had a very complicated relationship, and I take my blame. I'll take my blame for my side of the pain and confusion. No doubt my marriage hurt her, but the fact that she more or less left music behind can't be explained that simply. Why did you put that in there?
Well, it's important because, once again, I'm not putting anything in there that you didn't speculate or that you didn't talk about or, like, you didn't know. Like, you know, it's like you have Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, you have Prince, Sheila E. This is not, you know, it was important because, right, when you in a group and you inside of a 24/7, you're in the studio and you're doing music, you know what I'm saying? And you're like 19, 20 and you catching a vibe. And every day, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Lauryn, but this was a hot chick, you feel me? And I'm a hot dude, so we vibing, you know what I'm saying? So you vibe automatically, right? There's always gonna be some form of passion which happens. Now with this romance, you never know how far it's gonna go because you know, I say like, you know, you young and dumb at the time and want to. I don't want to say the other word, but it's sort of like, it was important to put that in there because somebody who's reading said, oh, okay, actually there was a relationship. But the thing is, past the relationship, I can't be blamed for the future of an individual.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if she picks up the phone right now and say, yo, I need your help with something, I will jump in 2 seconds to do it. If Prize needs something, I'm gonna do it. Because at the end of the day, this is the original form of from where the music came from.
Okay, one more thing about this subject. We all loved that album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, but it was largely about you, right? So while we all loved it, how did you feel about it?
You know, this the way that I can answer this question, because I'm a big fan of Bill Clinton, you know, and when they asked Bill Clinton the weed question, what did he say? He
didn't inhale.
Yeah. I mean, that's my answer for this. I didn't inhale. You know, like I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You know that is an answer.
Most young rappers locked inside these deals cannot just board a plane and disappear. The contracts won't allow it. The finances won't allow it. So they stay. And staying over enough time changes you, whether you wanted it to or not. Now, there's a version of Katt Williams that most people took away from that Club Shay Shay interview. The comedian who finally went off. The man with the receipts. The person who spent 3 hours on a podcast essentially daring the entire industry to come at him. But there's another version of that conversation I keep coming back to. The one where you listen past the drama and realize you're watching a man who spent his entire career refusing to play along, carrying the weight of everything he had witnessed, and finally deciding to set some of it down in public, where people could actually do something with it. When Katt said he has information he shouldn't have, that wasn't showboating. That was him explaining every choice he's ever made. Every time he turned down a major deal or walked away from a major relationship, it cost him. Opportunities vanished. Doors that should have opened stayed shut. He built his career entirely on his own terms, and it worked. But it worked differently than it would have if he had simply said yes when the moment came. And he knew that.
When I
he chose it anyway.
I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story, motherfucker. But tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was.
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?